Welcome to the Tea Huddle with Marisa and Kelly.
Your only source for gridiron gossip.
Episode 2, this is very exciting. Also exciting to mention, we, as co-hosts, are in a females-only fantasy football league.
Marisa is going down.
Yeah, you'll see. No, it's so fun. It's 10 girls. I think some of the girls know about football, have done fantasy before.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm just here for the good times.
Marisa drafted just strictly on looks.
I drafted a lot on looks. I drafted starting with Heartthrob of where are the Chiefs from?
Kansas City.
The Heartthrob of Kansas City, Travis Kelce, who I know, not just because he's cute and funny. I watched his reality show, Catching Kelce, years ago. All I knew about him at the time was that he was good at football and had just signed some sort of like crazy contract. Like everyone who was talking about the show talked about how rich he was. I had never heard of him a day in my life. Loved the show.
Unfortunately, I don't think he caught any women.
Any gals, definitely not. The concept, I don't know if you watched, I think you might have missed that one, was that he was dating 50 women, one from each state, and which state would, capture with a K, his heart. The answer is none of them.
Yeah, there wasn't a winner, right?
No.
I didn't
I think
so.
There was a winner and they dated for like 30 seconds and then he realized that this was a terrible idea. No. He was my first pick because this was my criteria for selection. A, have I heard of them? Infinite points. B, I'm going for a team with no abusers. Nobody who has been arrested or accused of beating the crap out of their partner was sort of a big goal of mine.
That's definitely a good goal.
Yeah.
Can't say I followed suit, but I wish I did.
You have a couple choices on there that don't fit my criteria. And then I guess the third is, are they good at football? So that was my outline. But I think we both ended up with some good people.
Yeah, I think Tyreek Hill I might regret choosing, but I also have Golden Boy Joe Burrow, and I'm feeling good about Jared Goff as a backup. So,
ooh, my main quarterback starting, that's what we could say, is Lamar Jackson, who I don't know. I do know that he lives with his mom, which I think is sweet. And somebody told me that he runs in a lot of his touchdowns, which is good for fantasy points. And my backup quarterback is Matt Stafford, who I know of not because he's cute only, but also because his wife, Kelly, has been in the news quite a bit lately.
She has. She can't quite seem to stay away. I think she's been apologizing for years and years about things she said, and we'll get into that.
We love a public apology.
We definitely will get into that today, but some background on the Stafford family. It's kind of a beautiful story. On paper, they met at the University of Georgia. He was the star football quarterback, and she was a cheerleader. It's very, very precious, but it's college, and she couldn't quite lock him down. I think she even said, just to piss him off, she dated the backup quarterback, and sometimes that's what it takes to really lock down your man.
I love that. She's vindictive. She's calculating.
And
I would love to welcome her to the Tea Huddle.
And hey, they found love.
Yeah, they did. They're married, 4 daughters.
4 girls.
A lot of estrogen in that household. But backup quarterback, we don't know his name. We don't know where he is. He was a pawn in her chess game, and it worked. So hats off to you, Kelly.
Poor guy's got a broken heart somewhere.
Yeah. Yes. So speaking of her public apologies, one of the early ones was, so I guess she was selling some tickets on StubHub to a game. I think what happened is that people thought she had like comp tickets for being the quarterback's wife. This was in 2015.
Early on.
Yeah, he was new. She was new. That's back when he was a Detroit Lion, which your backup QB is the new, right?
Trading places.
Yeah. So she, I think, was attacked online after posting some of her tickets on
StubHub.
On StubHub, yes. There was huge backlash when she posted these. And she did what is maybe my favorite thing in all of celebrity culture. She posted a Notes app apology announcement. We love when people go into the Notes app and post that. That is exactly. She wrote, just an FYI, and I'm just like picturing the sassiest tone. I bought those New Orleans tickets to take my family to the game, but found out at the beginning of the week my grandfather is very ill. We wish him the best, side note. So I'm going to see him instead. So for those of you who said, I'm not going because of the season we've had, there is a real reason for you. I hope you're happy. I'm also sorry for being human, all capitals, and wanting to sell the tickets we purchased because we were not able to go. We do a lot for this community, and I'm beyond tired of getting badgered for this. ... Get over yourselves. So rather than slinking quietly away or saying, I see what you guys mean, I could have given away the tickets to somebody who needed them, she went on the hard defense. And I like that about her.
Yeah, she's not backing down.
No.
She's got 4 kids to get through college.
Yeah, she needs to sell those tickets.
She might need some extra cash.
Exactly.
My favorite story about Kelly Stafford is I think it was like one of the first few years that he was playing and something happened on the field. Oh, no. There was a 49ers fan, was really upsetting her, chirping her. She takes a soft pretzel, throws it at him. He calls security, and she gets escorted off out of the game.
Better than a hard pretzel, I guess.
Quarterback's wife escorted out.
Wow. I mean, it has to be like a little embarrassing for him, you think. Unless he knows who he married. He probably likes the spitfire of it all.
Pretzelgate.
Right. Yeah, the soft pretzel we're calling Pretzelgate. So in 2019, the Lions, which Stafford was on at the time, lost to Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. And she was alluding that the officials were the reason that Green Bay won, that there was like something shysty going on. So she posted a picture on Instagram of Aaron Rodgers and Packer fans celebrating. And the caption was, they're missing their most valuable players of the night in this picture, meaning that like the refs should have been in the picture because they're the most valuable players. And she wrote, do refs get fined for bullshit calls? If not, they 10,000% should.
10,000%. I mean, we've all been there. We've all been there hating on the refs, but not 10,000.
Not 10,000, maybe 50%. But quarterback's wife she's angry and she wants us all to know about it. So that brings us to why she's in the news right now.
Yeah. So more recently, Kelly said herself, it's probably the worst thing she's done when it comes to her husband, Matt Stafford.
And that's sort of saying something because as we've discussed, she got escorted out of the stadium for throwing something at someone.
Yeah. It's just not a good way to start off the season talking about how her husband is not connecting with the younger players on the team.
Yeah, so she has a podcast of her own. We're happy to join your community, Kelly. And this is what she said on her podcast. It's kind of crazy. So Matthew's been in the league a long time. And he's like, the difference in the locker room has changed so significantly. They have a lot of rookies on their team. They're very young. But he's like, I feel like I can't connect. He said it's so different and so hard to get to know these guys. He had a book printed out. He had the equipment guy, shout out to the equipment guy. He had the equipment guy get a book printed of all their faces and all their names because he's like, I need to know their names. In the old days, you'd come out of practice, you'd shower, and people would be playing cards, interacting. Who knows what they're doing, but they're doing something together, playing ping pong. They have a tournament going. They'd at least be talking. But now they get out of practice and meetings during training camp and they go straight to their phones. No one's looking up from their phones. Matthew's like, I don't know. Am I the dad? Do I take their phones? What do I do here?
I mean, I get it, but we also did just watch Hard Knocks as we spoke about last week, and they were playing ping pong and interacting, so...
Totally. Aaron Rodgers is like one of the guys. I also feel like if your husband comes home from work venting about the problems he's having, do you go on your podcast and announce to the world, including his own teammates, his opponents, and his coach, that these are the private issues he explained to you behind closed doors?
It's definitely not going to fix the problem in the locker room.
No. So he is 35, and he's the oldest player on the team. As we learned in episode 1, Aaron Rodgers is 39, the oldest player in the whole league. Ancient. And the Rams only have 5 players over the age of 30. The one closest to his age is 32. So, like, there's a disconnect there. I get it. Kelly said, they say sir to him and shit. She's so sassy. He's like, no, we're on the same level. We're both playing in the same league. Let me get to know you. He said it's so different and so hard to get to know these guys.
Maybe a TikTok dance will save the day.
Yeah.
Get him on TikTok.
Exactly. He should play some Fortnite.
Yeah.
I feel like Aaron, just from what we've seen on Hard Knocks, is really sort of figured out where to sit on the line of their friend, their mentor, one of them, but also knowing that they look up to him. And maybe Matt Stafford needs to play a little hard to get. Maybe like you're 35, you're 12 to 15 years older than some of these guys. Like you're not.
Yeah. You've got to take on more of a leadership role.
Yeah. Yeah, she said, I think nowadays it's really hard to develop that because all these young kids, they don't care. Or it's not that they don't care, but they're used to going straight to their phones instead of having some fun with the guys in the locker room. It's different and it's kind of sad.
What kind of fun do you think they're having in the locker room?
And you know what's not going to make this easier? Announcing to everyone that you feel like their dad and that you want to confiscate their phones. I feel like confiscating their phones is not going to help your dynamic.
It's not going to help. Teammates. Yeah, maybe some simple interactions.
Yeah. It got to the point where the coach, Sean McVay, had to speak on it. He said to reporters, I'm not concerned because I think if you know Kelly, I took that as more of a joke at the old man. Matthew Stafford has not commented, but you know he's like definitely getting requests too. I'm just dying to know what the conversations were at home when he came home and was like, are you kidding? You're blowing up my spot on your podcast?
It does seem like a very millennial to Gen Z attitude.
Definitely.
Not that I'm on either side here. But
no, we're
neutral.
Millennials. Yeah, so she said, probably the worst thing I've done when it comes to him. I felt pretty bad last week. I put my foot in my mouth pretty good.
Yeah, it's just not really what you want walking into week 1.
Yeah, right.
Stepping on people's toes.
No, Will, the wife brought tension, mess with the vibes on the field. I'm glad he's only my backup quarterback in fantasy because Lamar Jackson doesn't have any of these problems. Yeah. He lives with his mom and she doesn't go on podcasts.
Yeah, at least give it a few weeks for them to settle down and bond a little more.
Yeah, exactly.
Another thing about Kelly, so I don't know if everyone knows this, but Stafford and Goff, they actually traded places on the Lions and Rams, which is pretty funny. So Kelly passed the baton to Jared Goff's fiance, Kristen Harper. And honestly, Kristen seems to have gotten it right. She knows how to bond the team, and she's hosting parties to get the entire team to hang out together. And I think Kelly could learn a thing or two from her now.
Yeah, like maybe don't take away their phones and instead like have a party. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, it's a better way to communicate.
But Kristen Harper, we love her here in the Tea Huddle. Our favorite thing is not only when somebody gets arrested in sort of a nonviolent way. We do love that. But also when somebody dates a celebrity. We love that. So Kristen Harper is Sports Illustrated Swimsuit Rookie of the Year. It's all very Tom and Giselle, that like she's a model and he's a quarterback. They met on a dating app, which we love. We're assuming it's Raya. They haven't said specifically, but like they're not on Tinder, you know? Let's just say it as it is. And she gave a whole interview about how like she was on the app and he liked her and he was messaging her and she was like, I don't know who he is. Like, I don't know if I'm like want to waste my time, but I had nothing going on a Thursday. So I figured, I guess I'll go out with him, which I'm here to say is 100% a lie. She definitely knew who he was. She was definitely so excited to date a quarterback. You can just tell she's like living her quarterback wife dreams.
She's planning all kinds of events.
She's planning the parties. She's into it, but I also like love the games, love her playing coy and pretending that like this wasn't the long game. There's a really, really cute video of when she's at her photo shoot for her Sports Illustrated rookie shoot. He wins his first game of the season. And there's a video of her watching it and she's cheering him on, and like they're both just sort of killing it respectively in their careers, which is fun. She's friends with Camille Kostick, Gronk's girlfriend.
Oh yeah, I love them.
Love them. They're a great couple. They seem really fun. He's wild.
They look happy.
They look happy. They really do. She was a Patriots cheerleader while he was a Patriots player, and apparently there's no fraternizing.
You're not allowed to do that.
And they pretend that it was once she stopped being a cheerleader that they connected and met. They don't
met on the
believe that.
Gronk cruise.
Is that what they say?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think probably they were breaking the rules, but like romantically, you know?
Well, this brings us to the first match of the season. I don't
Yes.
know. I'm excited. Are you excited?
So excited.
Football's back, baby. And it's going to be a good game. Chiefs, Lions. You know, there's a lot to talk about with the Mahomes family.
Yes.
They made their debut early this year on quarterback. That was fun to watch.
It was so fun to watch. I loved it. I loved her, Brittany Mahomes.
It was a great PR stunt for Brittany and Jackson not being on it.
Yes, the brother who some of you might know, he was sort of like a TikTok celeb in his own right for a minute there. And then he
took it too far.
Yeah, he took it too far. He was charged with assault. Yeah, so we figure his brother was probably like very much highlighted in it because he seems desperate to be a star in his own right until he was arrested on aggravated sexual battery charges. Get out of the tea huddle. We don't want you here.
No.
It's bad. Okay, so in May, Jackson Mahomes was charged with 3 felony counts of aggravated sexual battery and 1 misdemeanor count of battery. He's accused of forcibly kissing a woman back in February in the office of a restaurant in Kansas. And she was the owner of the restaurant. There is security footage of it happening. So, like, good luck getting out on that one, Jackson. But just this week, it was announced that the hearing is delayed at least a month because the judge has COVID. So more to come on that. We'll see how it all shakes out, but we won't see it on the quarterback because he was removed from all of the footage.
Let's hope it's not too much of a distraction for Patrick out there.
Definitely. No, I loved watching him on the quarterback. My favorite scene of the whole show was he like messed something up. I don't know, something football-y. He like didn't make a play. I don't know what it was. Or lost a game and was so composed, so together, so respectful of the other team. He shook everyone's hand. He was polite to fans and reporters. And then he goes into the locker room and the cameras don't follow him, but he's still mic'd up. As soon as that door closes and he's in like at least what felt like privacy, he's just screaming like F this, F that, like totally loses it. And just seeing like
he kept it together when he needed to.
Yes. And seeing how much he lost it shows how much control he had. That like that him being composed wasn't natural. It was like
I've always liked Mahomes mic'd up. He always seems like he's got it together. And
yeah, and it's interesting watching him as an all-star quarterback and Rodgers, because Mahomes is very much like one of the boys.
Yeah, he's on the other side of it for sure.
Yeah, he's the same age. They all respect him because he's so good, and like the dynamic with his team is clear that he's a star, but he also probably is like in the group chat in a way that Aaron Rodgers is not. And Matthew Stafford definitely
he's not having
isn't.
the issues that Matthew Stafford's having.
Yeah, it was just like such insight into it. My other favorite moment was Kirk Cousins, who's my new just like heartthrob of life. What a sweet man. He lost the game of potentially his last season. We now know it's not, but at the time it seemed like it might be. He's devastated. He gets in the car with nobody but his wife And the quarterback cameras, like the fact that we got to be in the back seat of his car on his drive home and then like be with him when he put his kids together to bed.
Definitely some intimate moments that
I
they
know.
let us into there.
Can't believe the access we had. I love it. I'm dying to see who this next season is. I for sure hope we get somebody single.
Yeah.
Like show us what it's like
Maybe
to
Lamar
date.
Jackson.
Yeah, dating while you live with your
Dating
mom.
while you live with your mom. I'd be curious. He's been around the league for a while, so he deserves some storytelling.
Yeah, I hope we get someone single. I love how it sort of shook out that we got someone in their prime, somebody maybe a little past their prime, and somebody who like maybe won't have a prime. Sorry, Marcus Mariota. It didn't go great for you.
Yeah, that I did like his story.
Me too.
He seems like a good guy, and I'm glad that he's going to be playing backup QB. So maybe there's hope one day that he'll be back.
Like I don't think he needs the pressure of being a starting QB. I think he'll be just fine as a backup. But yeah, I hope we get some good people next season. Okay, I have a couple more quick fun facts about Goff, other than the fact that he's dating a model who seems delightful, I might say. She just like seems really likable. Anyway, so he was the quarterback on the Rams. He's from California originally. Then he went to college in California. Then he got drafted by the California team, just like so Cali. Cali boy. So he then got traded to the Lions, and the Lions QB Stafford got traded to the Rams. They traded places. He had what they called an unsuccessful rookie season on the Rams. I don't know if that's true. I know they lost the Super Bowl, but he made it to the Super Bowl, so it couldn't have been that unsuccessful.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's more coming with Goff this year on the Lions.
I hope so. His dad was an MLB player. So was Mahomes. So they are QB against QB week 1. Both their dads were MLB players. He went to the same college as Aaron Rodgers. And funnest fact of the day, he has an enzyme deficiency that does not allow his body to break down proteins. So he can't process red meat. I just feel like, he's got to work around that. I hope he has a good nutritionist.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Yeah. And in March 2020, he donated $250,000 to the Los Angeles Regional Food Bank during COVID. So seems like a great
all-around good guy.
Seems like an all-around good guy. Other than the fact that they both have like great gals in their life and one of them has an enzyme deficiency, what do you think in terms of like the sports of it all about this matchup? Do we think Mahomes is just going to like wipe the floor with the Lions?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's the first time in a while that the Lions have played the first game of the season. And I have hope for Goff. I think last year the Lions had the fewest turnovers in the NFL, and Goff has one of the longest streaks without an interception in NFL history. So there's hope. And the Chiefs, they lost Juju. Juju's on the Patriots now. He's a good player. So I know who that is. It should be a good game. All right, Marissa, I think it's that time of day for our segment section. This time we're going to have a word of the day.
Ooh, word of the day. Okay. Today's word is combine. I don't know exactly what this is. I heard this recently because the Lions head coach, who's a full character, love this man, Dan Campbell. He was asked in a press conference something about the combine. Again, don't know what this is, so don't know what they asked him. But he said, you grade them off tape. You don't grade off somebody out here in pajamas. So I don't know what that is. And then also, I haven't watched the Johnny Manziel documentary yet. Can't wait to. Will absolutely. Hopefully more to report next episode. But in the clip I saw on TikTok, there was something going on at Combine where he was like taking someone else's urine from them in an elevator so that he could pass a Combine drug test. So we know it has to do with drug tests and maybe urine and maybe pajamas. Kelly, Please tell us all here in the Tea Huddle, what is the Combine?
Yeah, I mean, it could consist of all of those things, depending on who's participating. But it's the scouting combine. It's one of the biggest chances for young folk to get out there and prove to themselves that they have what it takes to play for the NFL. So they do all kinds of challenges. They do mental challenges, physical challenges, I guess drug tests as well, maybe some fashion shows in their pajamas. It's a fun event for young players to compete against each other. And it's worked well for some players. That's kind of how Tim Tebow was founded, and that worked for a little while, at least for him. But, not everyone's a big fan of it.
Do we know if it's before the draft or after? Like, is it for people who don't get drafted? This is where you go, like, get the rest of your people?
It's pre-draft.
Oh, it's pre-draft. Okay, so they can, like, make a fully informed decision.
Start scouting in the spring prior to draft.
I see. Wow. Well, Dan Campbell, not a fan. He prefers tape. Yeah. The other thing I read about this guy, which is not related to the Combine, but it is a fun story. Dan Campbell, head coach of the Lions, wanted to have a live lion on the sidelines. He said he'd love to have a pet lion with him as the mascot, and that the Lions owner, Sheila Ford Hamp, was on board, but the league office was not.
I mean, what could go wrong? I don't know.
Yeah, right, exactly. I mean, also not going to be the most aggressive, violent
and I think it would scare away Patrick Mahomes this week if we had to add him on their growling.
Maybe. He said, I'm not going to point out Roger on this, referring to Roger Goodell. I know who that is because he said, I'm not going to point out Roger on this. I'm just going to say the league frowns upon it. Let's just say that. So no lion on the sideline.
What if every team had real life versions?
A Seahawk, a Ram. It would get wild out there.
That's something to watch.
Yeah.
So that brings us to the final goss this week.
What do we have for our final goss this week, Kelly?
I mean, there's so much to choose from, but the one that sticks out to me this week is Tom Brady and his relationships.
Yeah, Tom Brady no longer in the NFL, but still here in the Tea Huddle. Okay, so just a little brief backstory. Irina Shayk married to Bradley Cooper. They had a baby together. They went their separate ways amicably, as far as we know. Then she was rumored to be dating Tom Brady, but around the time maybe he was rumored to be dating Kim Kardashian. There were just like rumors swirling about.
It's hard to trust anything then.
Yeah. And then photographs of them like intimately touching each other's faces. By them, I mean Tom Brady and Irina, through a car window were taken. So like that was sort of the most concrete information we had.
Leaving apartments together.
Yes. But then she was on vacation with her ex, Bradley Cooper, like how amicable, maybe they're getting back together. She was posting these pictures, like lovingly touching his face, and then all these topless photos on vacation. And if you're on vacation with him, like probably he's the one taking them. Yeah. So
some saucy snaps.
Some saucy snaps for sure. We thought maybe that was the end of Irina and Tom, but we learned this week, absolutely not. They're still together. I have to throw in
that it's more about Irina. She's had some history of her own besides Bradley Cooper.
Rumored to have dated Leonardo DiCaprio. I swore last week we'd get back to him. More to come for sure.
And then she turned 25 and
he wanted nothing to do with her. And maybe Kanye West in his post-Kim phase. Also maybe Cristiano Ronaldo, who I have to say also rumored to have been with Kim Kardashian at a point in time. Same with Tom Brady, rumored, and obviously we know the whole Kim Ye of it all. So a lot of overlap between Kim, Irina, Leo, Tom. It's just like
Hollywood.
It's a little huddle of its own.
It'll huddle of its own. But Tom Brady will be back in Gillette this weekend, so we're excited to see him on TV, back doing his thing. And keep your eye out for Irina. Maybe she'll be in the stands.
Ooh, we would love that if she went with him. We'd be able to confirm our final goss. All right. Well, I think that does it for episode 2 of the Tea Huddle.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Can't wait to see you all next week for some more gossip. There will be plenty.
And in the meantime, stay juicy.